Another attempt at a project today, which will be a leotard. In the past few weeks, I made a leotard, tried to make one for my youngest daughter. Today I'm going to make one for my oldest daughter, and that seems to be the video that you guys have gravitated toward the most. Now, the idea of my channel is that I don't really do any tutorials or any reviews. They might happen by default. You might learn something along the way. You might learn that I like a product better than I like another product as I'm using it. But as a rule, I'm not doing tutorials. I'm not doing reviews. I'm here trying to do what I do almost every day anyway and make things, build things. But I haven't ever really been able to turn that into a side gig or make it work for me where it's bringing in any kind of revenue. So that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying with this channel. And today I'm doing things a little bit differently by trying to look you in the face and talk to you, which is obviously not the most comfortable thing for me. And if it is really comfortable for people, I think that's kind of weird, like looking yourself straight in the eyeballs and smiling at yourself and talking and pretending that you're talking to the rest of the world. Because I'm not doing a news show. I'm crafting. And crafting is probably a whole lot better than looking at my giant forehead and talking to myself. So I'm taking that pattern and trying to make leotard number 2. Probably gonna stop the camera now, continue on with a time lapse like I usually do, and update you along the way. All right, let's go. All right, starting out, leotard number 2. Obviously starting out on video, but in reality, I'm already finished with it if I'm posting this. So you might as well know that it's been dropped in the mail. Has to go to New York to be tried out. That's going to be the true test to see if it goes on and gets through a class without riding up or falling down. We'll see. Are the sleeves going to be long enough? Should I have lined it? She asked me not to line it. So if I should have lined it and I didn't, that one's on her. Spoiler alert, I do think that I've done it. I do think that for this special request project, it's a success. Going back to original leotard video, again, I'll post links for that in the description and the comments for you so you can see my first try. There were a few things that I really needed to work the bugs out on, like how to appropriately use stretch thread for top stitching. My top stitches didn't look great. Where I had folded over the edges didn't look great. There were a few things that I felt like I needed to work on, but that I could accomplish if I tried again. And I think I did. So my child wanted a green velvet leotard with long sleeves and a low back. The pattern that I do have, the same pattern I used in the original, did not have a low back. So here's how I cut it. Just took the original pattern because I don't want to cut it up. I picked the appropriate size, traced it out on some newsprint, and I have a pattern I can cut. Now, it was not one piece for the upper bodice all the way down to the panty, so just like I did with the little sunflower Leo that I made a few weeks ago, I lined the top piece up with the bottom piece, and then I just cut the front and the back as one piece. I definitely will be making a few patterns of my own. I was looking at patterns today to see if there are any available that I could order that I thought would be versatile enough to give me great ideas or for me to just use, just to cut and use. I want to start easy. I'd like to have one piece, and frankly, the least amount of seams in the Leo, I think the better. So I'm going to try to find one like that instead of just lining these two up. Probably will cut a few more out as the days go on, but you'll see because you're following my journey. So I did that, and then when I went to cut the back, basically I looked at the shape and decided how and where I wanted to change the back, and I just cut. Call me crazy. I live on the edge. So hopefully when she gets it, she says it's perfect, that I just cut it right in the appropriate spot. Who am I kidding? She's probably not even going to wear this thing anyway. Didn't we already discuss that? We did. Easy all the way around so far. Again, only the second time I've done this. So if you have a little bit of sewing knowledge and you want to try it, I'm going to say go for it. You can do it. So I connected the crotch, the shoulders, And then I added the sleeve around the top and sewed right up the sides from the panty to the armpit all the way out to the wrist. Oh, I serged the cuff and I hemmed it before I did connect the sleeve so that it would have a neater finish. And voila, it's together. So the only thing left to do is make a few decisions about what I'm going to do with the neckline and the back and the elastic. So far, everything was so fast, not difficult. Okay, not difficult other than the threading of the serger again. Side note, when people ask you to do them a favor, do they do this to you? Because they do this to me. They say, oh, well, I would do it myself, but I just don't have a machine. I mean, I can sew. It's just that, you know, the machine is what makes it easy. That's the easy part. And you can just whip it right up because you have a machine. Reality check. That is not the case. The machines are what's the pain. It's not like they operate themselves. Honestly, I think machine maintenance is like, well, the maintenance and the 45 minutes of serger issues and threading and rethreading, that's the hard part. Don't you think? Okay, I do. Anyway, back on track here. The Leo is now together. Then comes the elastic. After doing this once, I would say I have it down. I would say that, but it's not 100% true. Because I think I might have provided a little bit too much tension here and not there. Not doing a perfect job because I got a little grabby and pulled a little too tight here and then didn't do the exact same thing on the other side. We'll see. The elastic is in. It's pretty easy to just lay that down and stitch around the edge. And then I quick fold over the edge, and there you have it. The double needles on top for a nice finished edge. Bam, elasticized leg holes. As for the neck and the back, I didn't put an elastic or put binding on. Again, I think there's enough stretch in these 4-way fabrics that folding them over for a hem will work on a lot of these projects. And it does a nice, neat, clean job. And I did a neater job finishing it this time. Number one, I used a wider double needle that I thought made the edge look a little bit more professional, cleaner. And number two, because I did not use stretch thread. That's right. I didn't do it. I did not use the super expensive, stretchy, pain in the hindquarters thread. And it was easy peasy. So with the last one, if you watched the video, the stretch thread is fantastic in the serger. Great, wonderful. In the machine, I did all the tricks and tips, and it didn't work for me. So either I failed or I didn't watch enough tutorials, which I think I really did. I think it is just a little bit more difficult to work with. And in my machine, I used the stretch needles. I used everything I was supposed to use. It just didn't work out for me. This way, it was great. Again, there's so much stretch in this 4-way that when you're sewing it, the thread, kind of stretches out and adapts anyway. And I yanked on this sucker and no cracks and crunches from using a regular thread. It seemed to work fine. So again, that'll be something that we will test once she gets it on, how she thinks it does having just a regular thread, but it looks clean. It looks great. This thing looked like I could sell it. I will make more leotards and I will try to sell them. Again, my husband's been trying to convince me that this is an easy project and I've been stubborn. Like he's like, you can do this because you make, tutus and you can do this. And I'm like, really? I just really didn't have like the passion or the interest in, I want to sit and make leotards, but maybe I do now. I'm going to make them. I'm going to try to sell them and I'm going to update you as I go. Let me know if you guys want to try one out, because I think from all of the silly little memes I see about aerobics these days, the aerobics class revival might be right around the corner.